On today's show, I visit with my friend Ingrid in beautiful Pubnico, about 35 minutes from Yarmouth. Her dad Ted took us out on his boat to an island to pick heaps of gooseberries on a perfect day at the end of July, and Ingrid and I spent the rest of the day getting the berries ready and making the jam. Berries are one of the things to me that epitomizes summer in Nova Scotia, so I'm glad I could capture a bit of a leisurely summer berry picking day for you. Ingrid and I have been friends for a long time, and we had such a great time catching up and preserving a bit of summer. And after a full day's work, we went out for supper at the Red Cap restaurant in Pubnico and had the haddock with lobster sauce. You can't get much more Nova Scotian or delicious than that. So let's get right to the visit. Oh, they're so pretty.
Yeah. So some of them are starting to turn purple, but when you cook them, they'll turn purple anyways.
So purple means riper?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And the branches are super thorny. And they grow kind of underneath, so you kind of have to grab underneath the plants.
Yeah, those are big sharp thorns. They're not like little blackberry ones or whatever.
They're annoying.
They're vicious.
Yeah.
Worth it though. Oh, I see a beautiful, nice one hanging.
Yeah. Yes, they're plants with a great defense mechanism. So, we top and tail the gooseberries. They have a little fluffy bit on one end that I assume is where the flower is, but I've never seen them in flower.
In flower, yeah.
So we take that off, and then there's a little green stem at the bottom. So it's rather labor intensive.
But they're so pretty.
Yeah. And it makes that satisfying ping every time you chuck them in the bowl. I assume that you can cook them with the tops and tails, but they don't disintegrate, because I've tried it before, actually. I wimped out at one point and decided that I wasn't going to top and tail them, and they don't disintegrate like, I don't know, maybe other kinds of stems.
Right.
From other berries.
But if you were doing a jelly instead of a jam, you could just do them whole and then straighten them out.
That, yeah.
But jelly's a whole other.
Yeah, I've never done gooseberry jelly. Only jam.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
So you, I happen to know, because we're friends, used to work at the village here in Pubnico.
Yep.
And that is where you learned to do this.
Yep. So we do a lot of jams at the village, because we do a lot of cooking that they would have done in the early 1900s, and so gooseberry jam is one of the big ones that we do. We cook as much as we can and sell it in the little gift shop. We also use them. We use the jam day to day in the houses. Sometimes we'll put some jam on top of the molasses cookies, and
Yum.
It's delicious. It's
That sounds
the
so
best way to enjoy gooseberry jam is on a molasses cookie. So good. The tartness of the gooseberry, the sweetness of the molasses, it's like the best match ever.
That sounds so good. So, in episode 1, Mrs. Trask shared a recipe for molasses cookies, and hers are a soft molasses cookie.
Right.
And I can't remember what the ones at the village are like. Are they similar?
Yeah, they're similar.
Okay,
so they would be,
yeah.
They're like a rolled cut cookie.
Yeah, yeah. It's just a traditional, I'm sure it's probably the same recipe, because hers was very old as well, very traditional.
If memory serves, I think it was pretty similar.
Yeah. So just a little spoonful, kind of.
Yeah. Or you can make like thumbprint type
Yep.
sort of molasses cookies with the jam in the middle. So good. Sometimes if someone fancy was coming, then we would make the fancy molasses cookies. So when the Governor General came to the village one day, we made molasses cookies with gooseberry jam.
Wow.
I mean, that was a big deal.
So if you want to feel like the Governor General, make yourself some molasses cookies with gooseberry jam.
Only for the Governor General.
So the berries that we picked are, this is one of the first things you said when we got to the island this morning. They're kind of half and half-ish, green and purple. And I was saying I'd only ever seen them like for sale or whatever. They're always green. So when they're purple, they're more ripe and a little sweeter.
Yeah. So I prefer them at this state where they're kind of half and half. Some people like to make their jam with only green berries. Your jam will be a little bit more tart. And I've done it before with riper berries where they're pretty darn mostly purple.
Mm-hmm.
And the jam's just a little too sweet at that point. You would have to adjust your sugar content. So The recipe that I use is simple. It's equal parts berries and sugar. And then you cover the berries with water and cook it until you get jam. Super simple.
That is pretty simple.
Yeah.
So are these, I've never made gooseberry jam. I'm kind of guessing there's probably a lot of pectin in them. So does it set up pretty well, or do you have to cook it for quite a while, or?
I use the cold plate technique.
Yeah.
So I cook it until it sort of gels on a frozen plate. Yeah, you just cook it until it's done. Horrible instructions.
No, not at all. Because every time you use fresh fruit, it's especially for canning stuff. Like it totally depends on how the weather's been, how much water content there is in the berries, and all that kind of stuff. So those are great.
And it's great that there's no real recipe, so you just as many berries as you pick, you can use them all to make your jam because you just need the same amount of sugar.
That's perfect. So the place where these ones were growing was was that Bar Island? That was Bar Island.
Yeah.
Bar, not Briar.
That's right, B-A-R. I think it's called East Bar Island in some charts.
Okay.
But some it's just called Bar Island. And so that island belongs to my dad. It is at the end of the Tittle on Surratt's Island. So you can, I think at low tide, you can almost walk there because.
Oh, really?
It has a bar that extends to the Tittle.
Strangely enough.
I know. They grow very well, as you saw on the island. There's plenty of them. And I think we're going to be sitting here topping and tailing them for a while.
I think so.
Because we picked, about...
almost 4 liters, I think we had.
Yep.
15 cups.
And that was... It took us less than 2 hours.
Yeah, it wasn't very long at all.
3 of us.
Yeah. So the bushes themselves are super thorny.
They're hateful
They're
plants.
And they're different kind of thorns from like raspberries or blackberries where they have kind of a whole bunch of really tiny kind of soft bendy thorns. These ones are like mean thorns. Yeah. And they're on the undersides where the berries are, so yes.
Yeah, the berries grow under. There are leaves on top of the branches. The berries grow kind of hanging underneath. So they sort of hide. You have to somehow lift up the very thorny branch to find the berries underneath. It's not the most user-friendly berry picking, but it's worth it. And we only do it once a year.
You forget in between.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they grow on mainland Nova Scotia.
I would think.
I have never picked them anywhere else, so I'm not sure of any particular locations, but I know people do. And some people cultivate them, of course.
Yeah, so the cultivated ones are a lot bigger. Sometimes you'll see them. I saw them at the Bob and the Boys market.
Oh, yeah.
Last week. They had these enormous all green.
Yeah.
gooseberries. We had them one year at the village. Someone brought some in. They had a bush.
Yeah.
And the jam wasn't quite as good as the tiny berries.
Yeah.
Which is kind of,
what
you know, the same thing with blueberries. Anyone who has had wild blueberries knows that they are far superior to the cultivated ones.
I agree.
Same thing with like wild strawberries, the tiny ones.
Yes.
They're just bursting with flavor.
So good. Now, if you could make, back to 2 episodes ago, Petra's rolled sponge cake with strawberries. Now, if you could make that with, actually, you could make it with gooseberries, but if you made that with wild strawberries, oh my goodness.
It would take you a long time to pick that many.
It would take forever.
That's funny, I've never cooked with gooseberries except for the jam, but I assume you could make like a gooseberry pie or a gooseberry cake or something.
The taste to me, I don't think I've never picked them before today. And the taste to me is just like kind of the skin of a purple red plum. Like it's that kind of tart, acidic, but really kind of lovely flavor.
Yeah.
I think they're quite delicious.
The ones that are purplish are definitely sweeter and more delicious to eat raw. If you eat a green one, I don't know if you tried any of the green ones.
I ate a few of the nice dark purple ones. I'll try a green one.
The green ones are really tart.
I got a big green one.
Okay.
Oh my.
Yeah, sour.
It's really sour. Like kind of a mouthful of lemon, actually. It's like lemony type sour.
Mm-hmm. But the funny thing is, even if you have...
It's still kind of good, though.
Yeah. Even if you have only green ones, when you cook them to make jam, your jam will still be purple. So they change color as you cook them.
Cool. And they were growing alongside. It was funny because I saw the leaves, and I said, oh, the leaves look similar to a currant bush. And there were wild currants growing there, too. Some red ones. There's a few in my...
They must be related.
Dish here. They must be somehow. I'm not sure. Whoops. Exactly how. And there was a few raspberries there too, and some beach parsley.
Yeah, which I didn't know what it was.
Oh, it's parsley that grows on the beach.
Yeah.
Should have picked some. Could probably throw it in a smoothie.
So in French, gooseberry is groseille. Here in Pumlico, we don't pronounce anything properly, and so we call them grouselles. And there's a story, it's probably an urban myth, but someone was picking gooseberries in a ditch in Pumlico, and an Anglophone person passed by and said, "What are you picking?" And they said, "Big wings," because grouselle would, like, gru and L would translate to big wings, even though that's not what groseille means at all. It's just the way that we say it sounds
just like...
would be a homonym for big wings. So, they're not big wings.
We're making progress.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of...
You get chatting.
Fly along, yeah.
It's not fun to do it alone. It's definitely a group project.
So the only thing they use them for at the village is in the jam? And on the
they might have made a pie with them once, but the thing is, when you've got them, you just want to make jam with them, because the jam is so good. It's hard to think of making anything else with them.
I'm thinking they would be really pretty because they're just beautiful on, well, like something like Petra's rolled sponge cake or something with like whipped cream and then kind of like dotted all over the top. They'd also be amazing in a salad, but that would kind of seem, I'd top a salad with them.
Right.
With vanilla ice cream, because anything goes with vanilla ice cream.
Not a salad, though.
Salad and vanilla ice cream, maybe not so much. I'm just eating the currants that I come across.
Oh,
There's a few, I think you're dead. Whoops. Toss a few in.
Yeah, he found a nice load of
patch,
currants. And currants in Pubnico French, I don't know if they're actually, I don't know what they really are in French, but we call them gadelle, which is the same word for like swear word. So if a gadelle is, it translates directly to swear. So I don't know what the connection is there. I have no idea.
I may have said a gadelle when I grabbed a thorn.
No kidding.
So your dad was kind enough to take us out, and I know I've heard him on CBC here in Nova Scotia before talking about the roseate tern population.
That's right.
Here, and he had his binoculars out today and was watching the birds and counting them and seeing kind of what was what.
Yeah, there were some terns on Bar Island, and they were feeding young, so they must have been nesting.
Okay, so we have all the berries. We stemmed and other ended
Topped
them.
and tailed, as
Topped
I
and
like to
tailed
say.
which took way longer than we thought.
Took hours.
It did take time has elapsed.
Yeah.
So we have 14 cups of gooseberries.
Yeah.
And we have them in a giant pot on the stove, and I'm measuring out the sugar, and we have 3 cups in there now.
Okay.
4.
And we had to go out and buy more sugar.
We did. 5. 14 cups of sugar.
All right.
So we measured, just to explain the berries, we measured in like large liquid measuring cups as far as volume goes, and then just measured the sugar in 5 cups.
It always looks like an obscene amount of sugar. So, and then we put enough water to cover this all. So I'm going to pour in some water. So turn on the stove and let it bubble away.
So the amount of water that you put in just kind of barely covered what was in there. I'm just trying to get a sense of how much
it's
water to
just so that they like start to float, kind of.
Okay.
All right, we have bubbles. So they're going to change color. You see, they're already.
Yep.
The juice is getting purpley. Well, my house I bought from my grandparents. So it used to be my Grammy's kitchen, and now it's my kitchen. So it feels super familiar, even though I've changed it a little bit, but not a lot. I've kept the birch cupboards the way that they are, because I love them. And the chrome around the edge I love so much, because it's retro and fun. My kitchen's usually a mess, because I'm not the most tidy person in the world. But yeah, like, the kitchen's super functional. There's tons of storage. It's really bright, which I like. It's got nice big windows. Yeah, and I do a lot of cooking and a lot of baking. So it's a pretty happy place. We hang out here a lot. We sit at the kitchen table. Sometimes we have iPads and computers during lunch or supper because I work from home, so a lot of the time I'm still working at supper time. But it's still a great gathering place. We read the paper in the morning and drink our tea and coffee. We always sit down for breakfast together. Gavin makes a great breakfast. So it's a pretty happening place. So the jam is bubbling away. Just stirring it around. It smells so good. Oh, it smells so good.
It does smell really good. Whoa, it is definitely boiling.
This is the time that we turn it down.
Good thing we had it in a big pot.
Yeah.
Oh, now it's the prettiest frothy pink.
It looks like candy. So hopefully it'll calm down a bit. But like I think already all the fruit's probably almost the same color. Yeah, you can see some of them are a little lighter. But don't they look beautiful?
Yes.
I mean, jam is essentially candy, so.
It is. Pretty candy in jars. Yeah. Candy for your breakfast. I love it.
Yeah, it's candy on toast. But look, it starts, and the gooseberries look like little beads of deliciousness. So they're breaking down. You'll still, in the jam, you'll still see like the little berries.
The bodies.
Yeah, the little, they will look like little pearls. And then they'll be suspended in the
goo.
In the goo. Pearls suspended in the goo.
Awesome.
We're gonna have a lot of jam.
Awesome.
It's gonna do us for a year.
Love it.
It smells so good. Yeah, it is kind of cranberry, but not.
Yeah.
Which is the worst description ever. I hate the cranberry. Yeah, it's like the cranberry's fun little sister.
Something like that.
It's like the Skipper to Barbie.
Keep going, keep going.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna stick with that. I don't know. It's like more strawberry than cranberry.
Yep.
And I feel like cranberry is kind of like the dowdy aunt of the berries.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I feel like it'd be a cranberry. Oh, cranberries are my spirit animals.
You're the dowdy aunt. Anyways, I'm sticking to that. So cranberries are the dowdy aunt, and strawberries are like the fun kid that's running around. And so the gooseberry's somewhere in between. She's somewhere near the currant. Currant is beautiful. Like she's like the the beauty queen.
Currants are so small and they're fussy and they're but they are beautiful.
Beautiful and a little hairy.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so exciting. Kind of jelly I've never made.
Yeah, it's great. I think I have a plate in here. Gavin was cleaning out. No, maybe I don't. I'll put one in. Gavin was cleaning out my freezer, and he said, "Is there any reason that there's a plate in here?" And I was like, "Yes,
there is.
There's a good reason that there's a plate." And it was one of my fancy little plates. Fancy little dessert plates. This is what I use for.
Oh, pretty.
Yeah.
Because why use a plain one when you can use a pretty one?
Exactly. But he must have taken it up. He decided it wasn't a good enough reason. I wish I didn't look like such a dirtbag.
It looks like tuna. What is it?
Chocolate
Icing?
Chocolate icing.
It looks like tuna. That's all I can see is tuna sandwiches all stacked up. Ugh. I don't love tuna. Do you like tuna?
Yeah.
I don't mind it. I like it, but I don't love it.
As long as there's lots of celery in it.
Ugh, that's the worst. The crunchy interruption.
Yes.
Oh, yuck.
No, I need lots of celery in it.
I'm very specific in my accepting. So you're kind of tipping the plate up.
Yeah.
To slide it around to see how. I don't know. I'm
moves.
not good at this.
See, now that it's cooled, it's sort of staying in place.
I think so too.
I think it's good.
Now I can put my finger in.
Yep.
Yum.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
I hope they're gonna gel properly.
Of course it will. And if not, you can go over ice cream.
Yeah.
So good. It's so dark. Like, I didn't expect it to be that dark.
Yeah.
I thought it would be more pinky.
No.
So much jam. I love it. It's beautiful.
So I have 2 more. And another scrap lid. Okay.
Just.
Just.
Phew.
Okay. There. Success.
Oh, but think about like some cold January morning and you have some nice hot toast.
It's going to be lovely.
Spread with the taste of the July day well spent.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Oh my goodness.
What?
It just sloshed.
Oh.
I don't even know what I
What
did.
the hell?
A big ladle full of soapy dishwater.
Oh.
Sloshed over. It, I guess, just slipped when I had it. Sorry. No worries. I'll rinse that again. Oh boy.
I don't know what to do.
There, I'm gonna set it right here. And then wait for one to pop. It's the best sound ever.
Yeah. Holy cow, we got a lot of jam.
We did. Thank you again. So
4
much.
of the big ones. How is that possible?
Oh, it's great. I had such a fun day. Thank you.
Me too.
I just leave it. Doesn't matter now. We recorded everything else.
That one hasn't popped yet.
Oh, cool. As soon as we say something, it's gonna pop.
Yeah.
Perfect. It was so perfect.
Thanks so much to Ingrid's dad, Ted, for taking us out to the island to pick the gooseberries. Thanks to Ingrid for sharing a beautiful July day with me. It was so nice to have such a long visit. Links to the things we chatted about, as well as pictures from our visit and of Ingrid's kitchen, are at novascotiakitchens.com. Thanks to Julian Smith for the music, and to Adam Graham for technical help and generally being awesome. And of course, thanks to you for listening. You can connect with me at the Nova Scotia Kitchens page on Facebook, or email novascotiakitchens@gmail.com. And we're also on Instagram at Nova Scotia Kitchen. Until next time.